All right, we have a number of fantastic runs, but coming up first is a very special run to me. I am such a huge Final Fantasy fan. We have Final Fantasy 1 on the NES Randomizer with the category Defeat Chaos and Shard Hunt, sorry. And the runner who is going to be running this is Felissan. Felissan!
Hello. So I'm Felissan. I'm a newcomer to the Randomizer, and I'll be joined in commentary by my teacher, Mage.
Hi all. I'm Magus1. Magus, however you want to pronounce it, this is what I said, just call me Mage. Well, I wouldn't say you're a newcomer, especially when you took third in the new player tournament.
Well, I'm a newcomer by just from a time perspective, but I will admit that I didn't expect to be able to pull this kind of stuff off within a couple of months. But anyway, we are getting distracted. We should get start with the seed with the...
Do you want to start by setting up the party?
Yep. So, usually our party setup is... hold on, let me just go over all the blessings real quick, as you maybe explain what those are about.
Sure thing. Basically, what the things in this flag set are called blurst. Basically, blessings and curse, or zero boons and malices. What that means is each class comes with its own unique abilities, its own normal abilities, and then as part of the randomizer, one of the flag sets is we give them a couple of extra options, or sometimes have some, curses, where, like, if you're red mage, you may or may not have the ability to cast spells, or you may have one less, spell point, per level. You may get lucky enough, like as for the black mage, they're getting to actually be able to equip good armor. The randomizer has a whole host of different things on that one. As far as the flag set, it is a shard hunt, or basically Chaos has broken all 4 orbs into 28 shards, and in order to get to the final dungeon, Phil has to find 28 of the... Phil, do you happen to remember how many shards it is?
Yes, it is 28.
I know, I was saying the total pool.
Ah, yes, there are 32 shards in chest, and 12 you can get from killing the Fiends.
Thank you. So essentially, you'll see Phil check all over the place, a lot of the key and... This normal option is used with Oops All Loose, which is the preset for essentially meaning all the key items can be anywhere to some degree, but within some logic. Like, it's a good flag set to explain, but we'll both try to explain, during it. Well, I guess whenever you're ready.
I am. So starting in 3, 2, 1, now.
Okay, while Fel is doing the pre-game, the early game checks with magic, let's check here. Oh god. Basically, Fate being very early on for white magic is very good because of the fact that it is the strongest white magic spell, though I don't think they're able to get it. Quad X also being picked up for the Red Mage and the Black Mage, respectively. Now, she's picking up a tiny bit of armor, grabbing some decent stuff. You'll see numbers next to each of the weapons. This is sort of the same way with Blurst, where the randomizer has an option to give a +1 all the way up to +5 in this flag sets, or a -1 to -3, to essentially give that whole old school D&D feel of having +1, +2, +3, +4, +5 weapons. This also extends to armor. Armor, if it is less than the thing, then you get a small hit to the amount of defense and absorb. Oh, and we found the herb already, the item to give to the Elven Prince. But as I was saying, the armor... Oh, and the ship too. Nice, we now has transportation. But essentially, the Midas on it is a small hit to the absorb and the evasion. On a positive, it is an increase to that one. We're fighting Garland here, the first boss of the game. And ouch to that one. You'll notice that the way to take out Garland as fast as possible, getting the canal means right now she has access to the... Well, welcome to the world journey.
Yep, getting access to so many dungeons all of a sudden is a bit scary, because usually what this means in this flag set is that you're expected to just go wherever your key items lead you, which in this case could be some scary places, I must say.
Yes. You'll also notice in her taking saves and then setting out of it, this is to basically manipulate the RNG table, which is still in effect in the game. It just basically requires... You can still throw away encounters, you can still throw away other stuff. By throw away, that means when an encounter happens, you can reset out of it without resetting your encounter count, because it will keep going through stuff. And hey, recheck. The crystal being the item that you have to give to Matoya anyway, so it's a free location. And in these flag settings, the quest NPCs will give you powerful equipment. The power bonk, well, power gauntlet, we call it the power bonk. It is essentially the item that casts temper, which is the spell. No, it is the temper. It's temper, I believe.
It's Saber.
Oh, Saber. I always forget that one. Essentially, it allows you to power up whichever character is using it, as it's a self-cast spell on that one to increase attack power. And we're going over to fight Binky the and she's going over to fight Binky the Pirates, the free Provoca, and get one of the other item checks. This is one of the normal quest, not fetch quest NPCs, but normally would have a key item with the ship. Dying. Every item may be loose, but it does not mean that there's not some that are easier to find on that one. It looks like cabins rolled up a little bit today, as the shop prices are pretty random as well, but they have a scale fits to it that can either be random or set. The flag set that she is currently using is the flag set from the Winter Tournament, and wow, that's a good set of spells. A Brack, or basically the equivalent to more modern Break, where it can possibly turn it into stone. I didn't see that incorrectly. That was Life 2 and Invis 2 at level 2?
Correct.
Oh, good. Life 2 being the very good life spell. However, it can only be used out of battle. And the flag set has life as in battle, right?
That's true.
Okay, so I should explain that.
Too.
Yeah. Essentially, that is not so much a bug fix, but something that the Randomizer devs added, as that was not present in the original game. The Randomizer is very customizable. I highly recommend checking it out. It's Final Fantasy Randomizer.com, if I recall, or something like that. Just Google Final Fantasy.
ffrando.com.
Yeah. Just Google, you'll find it. Hard to explain everything, and Fel is doing a lot of the opening checks for what she has been given. Going to Earth Cave here to quickly do some checks. You may or may not see her reset out of some checks here and there. This is purely just to save the time of having to wander back out.
In this case, the rune sword is a surprisingly good sword in Rando, since the effective damage on weapons is fixed to actually work. And it's actually effective against a couple of early game bosses that could otherwise be a bit troublesome. That provides.
I guess the seed really wants you to rondo around the world. That item that she just picked up, the floater, is the ability to go use the airship. Now, trap tiles for these flag sets are not randomized. They are essentially the vanilla formations on that one. You'll also notice that you'll get a bit more EXP. EXP scaling as well as gold scaling does have options to that one as well. The FF1R randomizer has a lot of options to it, but at the same point, it is also kind to people. By kind, I mean there is information on the site that explains everything, and at few it's hard to stay alive, but the actual increase to the run chance does help. For a minute.
So, I could go check the rest of the Earth Cave, but right now I have the canoe, I have the floater, and I don't have what I would need to check the entire Earth Cave. I lack the rod, the key item I would need for that. So I will just take the opportunity to go straight for the airship and look in some towns for maybe some more magic, since I lack some good AoE damage for now, and maybe an aggressive play for a race would have been to just keep going through a cave, go all the way to a vampire. But I will probably just take it safe for this marathon run for safety.
Yes, and now that you've picked up the floater, I'm guessing Sages, then Volcano, or Ice Cave?
Probably Ice Cave first, since I doubt I have what I would need to take down Carrie. And on top of that, it is nice to wait a bit longer for Volcano, since the Agamas are still one of the best grind spots in the game, and are best left for when you have more shards for the progressive scaling purposes.
Here you see one of the fun flags in Confused Old Men. Told you it was one of the old school fun ones. It sort of becomes a Where's Waldo of where the fiends are. But the Sages. But getting the Ice Sword, which is one of the best swords for the Red Mage class without promotion. It also does deal ice elemental damage, which, you want me to explain a little bit about the history or some of the stuff with the randomizer?
Go ahead.
In all fairness, the original randomizer actually did not have that as a fix, and I will also state the randomizer devs, shoutouts to them because they do amazing work. And for those that have ever played the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest randomizer, Wildham, one of the people that has helped with the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer, actually created that one. Shoutouts to Entroper, the creator of the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. But essentially a lot of the stuff was, fixed with a lot of the bug fixes. You can still play them without it if you want to, but that means some of your spells will not work properly. Gotta get all the actual things on that one. Anyway, Fel is checking Ice Cave here, which is the normal location for the floater, and does have one of the best grind tiles in the game if you can survive the beginning attacks of it with the eye grind, or beholder for those that know the D&D enemy. As a lot of the original original Final Fantasy 1 had a lot to do with D&D, that one.
Unfortunately, I'm getting attacked by a lot of unrunnable encounters, which might drain my spell charges if they keep coming this fast.
True. Honestly, but wishing you ooh, Bane Sword. Explain Bane Sword. Bane Sword is one of the items that is castable, meaning it can be used in battle to cast a certain spell, in this case Bane, which is a poison smoke item. Well, it's the poison smoke spell that can instantly kill certain enemies. Fun fact, it even can kill Chaos. I believe it's a 3 in 256 chance to do that, but it is possible. Another quest item in the crown, needing to go give it to Astos. Now, I will note that if she had the warp spell, she could just use the warp spell to hover over that pit and be able to check all 3 chests.
One thing you might have noticed is that the spell I went for taking out these images in the unrunnable battles was Zap. It's probably not the kind of spell you really think of as an AoE attack, since for most of the time just fairly inaccurate insta-kill spell. But undead enemies happen to have a very low magic defense general, which then makes it fairly reliable against them.
And looks like Ice Cave holding at least a few items here, alongside the
Indeed.
bridge, which is unnecessary now unless you want to show people the intro cutscene. Money there. The one nice thing about the Randomizer is it does explain and showcase what a lot of the castable items do. Plus, also, when you have a full inventory, it won't make you wonder what's in the item in the chest before you empty it out. Also, picking up the defense sword, which is essentially a free cast of Invis, if I'm recalling correctly. So essentially,
Ruse.
Ruse. Sorry if I'm forgetting the spells on that one.
There's a lot of debate in the community about which sword is the best. Hot take, defense is the best sword.
I remember back when the old argument started between Vorpal and Massa. Vorpal being the sword that has the best crits in the game, but not a lot of damage, and the Massa Moon being the best sword in the game as far as just sheer damage, although its crit output isn't the best. Essentially, you can beat Chaos just by powering up any weapon you have and just basically swing hard as anything. My recommendation for new players is just want to try out the Randomizer. Go for a fighter or go for a black belt, because black belt you can always just grind to the highest level and just go punch Chaos.
So right now I'm not doing Volcano since I'm out of spell charges. I will get quite a lot of them back just from all the leveling I did in there from the unrunnable encounters.
Also,
I finally get my first level 3 sweeper with Ice 3, along with a very funny spell in the form of Quake.
or Cake, as the community likes to call it, because there's some fiends that can be killed with the spell, and you would think that they are not as susceptible to it as they actually would appear. You want to explain the pickup of Lamp there?
I'll let you do it.
I'm trying to remember that one, but I believe it has been buffed to actually do other things than what it says on the tin.
And actually the reason I'm picking up is simpler than that. It's that in this flag set, the dark status effect is buffed to be a lot stronger than in vanilla, almost entirely shutting down any melee character on its own.
as originally it just did nothing, just gave you cool sunglasses. And a tail pickup for that rat's tail, which gives promotion if she so chooses to go see Bahamut and gets that.
I'm surprised I'm still only on 2 shots, so right now I'm probably gonna skip Mashka for a while, but I just remembered that I have quite a few turn-ins to do right now. One of those is the crown. And the ribbon is a very good find.
Yes, it is. The ribbon, just like in all the other Final Fantasy games, giving status immunity to a lot of the stuff, and looks like a lot of the enemies are rolling low, since Power Word Kill, aka Quad X, is taking them out. Is it 300 or 600 in this flag set?
600.
Another thing that we have the randomizer has options for is setting the threshold for some things. As I said, it may look a bit it may look daunting at first, but the community has a lot of resources, as Fel can attest to, just for how much information to learn the randomizer from. If you weren't here to hear it earlier, Fel also took third in the community's Duckling program tournament, their actual new player tournament, because they have an entire, like, is it 6 weeks still, or?
The bootcamp itself was 6 weeks, and the derby itself was 4 weeks plus the final.
Ah, thank you. That's right, a community that actually goes into an entire program to help new players learn things. I believe it's twice a year that they do that.
Just once a year nowadays.
Makes sense on that one. But essentially, the community is always willing to teach new players, and they're one of the communities that has amazing resources for it. And if you feel like checking out the randomizer yourself, ff1r.com, don't let the fact of it being a little more complicated and scare you away, because a lot of it is explained on that one, and there's resources for everything. And also picking up the ruby, or basically going to feed the Titan later. Maybe, maybe not. Since the Titan has been moved to block the 4 chests instead of the small entrance to the opening of the Titan's Trove. Anyway, you'll see her wandering around the oh, when did you miss it? With another item with the Oxy Ale. Essentially the item that gives access to the Sunken Shrine.
So that means that once I'm out of here, my next destination will be the Andrak continent as a whole, since that means I will not have to double dip it.
Ooh. Idiot. Ooh. The Peds. Or as it says there, Expedia. Basically because these enemies here give a lot of experience, which can really do help out. Tasty yum yum experience. Looks like they are a bit bulky today, but I'm pretty sure Fel's got this. Bane ineffective. Main staff working, 2 coming out, and getting a lot of EXP for all of her efforts. I will note that EXP share between all live parties is still on, however there is an option to have that not be that way. But I'm assuming Armory and then going down to Carry?
Correct.
Okay. Armory refers to this group of chests right here, because of how close they are together, and with an Oops All Loose flag set, you want to be checking as many chests as possible. Well, Oops All Loose just means checking a lot more checks. It means to go around and look through things versus just needing to go through all the item locations, which is another option for the randomizer. Heal Helmet. Yeah. One of the items that casts Heal 2 on everybody in the party. And you
I
also
just realized that I had not equipped that ribbon the whole time, which was a major misplay on my end.
we all have that problem here and there. Anyway, you'll see Fel walking along the damage tiles. This is to not increment the step counts for the running through the volcano, as although the RNG table still exists, it has been randomized as to when and how long the encounters will be. That's why you will see her going out, saving, sometimes resetting the game, and sometimes hard resetting game to reset where she is in the table in order to be able to toss away encounters. If you got a minute while you're on your way down, want to pass it over to the host to see if they have anything to read?
Of course.
Alrighty. As far as donations go, we are still looking for our first one today, but if you just give me 1 second, I will find the charity blurb. How's the run going so far?
So far, it's not giving me too much trouble.
It's
I don't have a timer on, so I don't really know what kind of pace I'm on.
Hold on and I'll check for you. At present, you are about 23 minutes in.
22 minutes in. Alrighty, and if you would like to donate to Community, you can visit our Tiltify campaign at speedromizer.live/donate. You can also find the donate link below the stream and in chat by typing !donates.
And this is an amazing start for the style flag set. Although pretty easy on that one, the flag set does encourage checking around for a lot of different items. Tasty Yum Yum Agabas?
I will take a couple fights on them to get maybe to the mid-teen levels.
Okay. So, any Final Fantasy veterans out there, get your Agama facts ready. Agamas being a enemy that is pretty squishy sometimes, but gives a lot of tasty yum yum experience. In fact, it's even used in some versions of the vanilla speedrun for their grinds.
I will note that I am very low on health potions. I probably should have stocked up on them last time I was in town. Yep, I'm all out of them.
It's a tough call there from what I recall, as of immediately after buying spells, as I believe Melman does not have an item shop.
Correct.
Essentially, lore-wise, Melmond is the one town where the vampire has destroyed the clinic and the item shop for that one. It is the 4th town in the game normally. And here we see an Agama, one of the enemies that is a bit squishy sometimes, but does offer some great EXP.
In this case, since we have 2 ice swords in our party, they go down very fast.
Very true. So you always hoping for the single Agama or the double Agama?
It's only ever a single Agama on these tiles.
Will you be checking the red D chest and then hoping to go through carry?
Yes. Also, I think I will do a rather unorthodox play to make up for my lack of healing potions and make use of the Agama grind to get some healing on.
It was just about to remind you, you do have the heal helmet and the heal staff, which is a free cast of heal 2.
At least I would if the melee character would let me get a couple turns for that.
As the fact that you can heal in battle with those does help with offsetting not having heal potions. So, you going for a specific level with the grind?
Not really. I'm just aiming for the mid-teens to have a bit more bulk on the fighter for carry, since she will always be a scary fight, no matter how much you get used to the game.
Very true. Very, very true.
Though, one thing I will note is that the first encounter on the table is very early, which means there might be a chance of getting some very good grind spots on the overworld, so that's why I'm not hoping to make this my final grind.
Very true. Tyro, I'm guessing, or one of the others in the northern continent?
Right.
Or as the community likes to say, team stake or not team stake. Because fighting a giant dinosaur can be fun and have a lot of good EXP. With current health, carry might be a challenge, but at the same point, also a bit easier to go down if she is lucky. We see the thief actually getting some ability to dodge more. The thief in the vanilla version actually really was bugged with a lot of stuff like that. Ooh, ice armor. Ice armor being a very good mid-game to late-game armor without promotion. It also gives resistance to fire, which, of course, carry being the Fiend of Fire, should help.
Well, not really, since all the spells and skills on the enemies are shuffled.
Very true. I was thinking of vanilla in that one. Sorry.
Now I'm putting the fighter in the third slot, which is the one that's least likely to be targeted by single target attacks.
With the first slot being the most likely, you could think of the lower two as being in the back row. I forget what the percentage is on that one. It's like 50%, like 25%, and then 12.5 based between the remaining two, if I recall.
Yes, if I recall correctly, the exact ratio for the bottom two slots is 31 into 56 and 34, I think. So it's a very minor difference, but it might end up mattering.
Really does, especially when it comes to Kraken.
It's just hit me now that I should have put the rune sword on the fighter instead, but it was on the thief the whole time and really pulled its weight.
And
as you could see, carry is one of those bosses I was mentioning earlier that are weak to the bonus damage from the rune sword.
Also, for every fiend killed, she will get 2 shards, so going into any fiend dungeon, if going all the way down to the boss, will give her a couple of shards. For Carrie and Lich, it is 2 shards. For Tiamat and Kraken, it is 4.
No. As I mentioned, this is a flag set where you want to follow the trail that the key items are giving you. In this case, I got the ox here from the volcano, which means that I will probably want to visit the sea shrine, so that's why I'm taking the trip up north. And along the way, I'll be able to drop by Bahamut's place to promote.
Which means you will have access to a lot of that good armor. Ooh! That dragon armor and an opal gauntlet?
Well, the opal gauntlet is rarely ever matters, since that slot would usually be taken up by the power bank. And I've played too much Entrance Rando. I thought this place had some things I actually cared about. It does not.
Yes, Entrance Rando being one of the other possible settings for the run. Highly recommend it, for trying out if you want something really cool later on. Being a little tanky, but still. You have to love just all the stuff the community has put into this one. Will you be checking the level 7 and 8 shops in Onrak? Well,
they're only level 7, but yes, I will be checking them. 8 is a level that rarely ever matters in the run, since the kind of levels you need to grind your mages to even be able to cast them in the first place is prohibitively high.
Unless you get lucky with having the free spells in as a blessing.
Indeed.
See walking out with the class promotion. Ninja getting access to up to level 4 black magic with the knight, or what later would become paladin, getting access to up to level 3 white magic. And I believe it's every even level will get a spell charge in that for each of those characters. Right now you see
that's starting at 15, which is pretty convenient given where I stopped my grind.
True. Switching around armor, equipping the opal armor, which is, if I recall, what, lightning resist?
Indeed. Well, I don't really... Actually, do I have a ribbon on... Yes, I do have a ribbon on the knight, so that does already cover all the elemental resistance anyway.
Hey, key. At least you don't
the
have to
key
worry.
is very important. That's one of the 2 items you will need no matter what, since there is actually a locked door somewhere in the final dungeon that would never be relevant in vanilla gameplay, but here it is. It's
very relevant.
Yes.
Do you want to know exactly where that is? The key door is the door that is right after the loot. Loot being the other item required that Princess Sarah in the normal game would give you. Also, will you be checking TFC? I have the key.
Yes.
TFC...
Skipping random chests in this flag set is really not an option. You never know where the loot might land.
Very true. TFC referring to one chest in the Sea Shrine that, out of all the other ones, is randomly blocked by the key. Which you would never know that in vanilla, because at this point you would definitely have the magical key. I will try to point it out when it gets there. It earned the nickname TFC for that leaping chest, because...
that friendly chest.
To be fair,
Fluffy, maybe?
To be fair, when it was nicknamed that, I believe it was in a play-in race, and the main key item for progression was there, and basically everybody almost skipped it. But going, Kraken first?
Correct.
Ideally, you can either go to Kraken first, or you can pause over and see what the community likes to call the ladies, basically the mermaids, that would normally give you the Oxyale, or not Oxyale, the slab, letting you learn a language in 2 seconds to be able to speak Lefenish. Will you, assuming you'll also be checking Sharknado?
Yes.
Sharknado referring to one of the rooms down here, because the trap tile is essentially 2 waters and some Gur sharks, if I recall.
I actually didn't know why this name was kind of standard for this room. I guess that explains it.
Yes. The community loves its puns. It really does. Another heal helmet. That'll be useful later on if you need the extra healing, I guess.
Well, healing is something that's usually done outside of battle, outside of a couple circumstances, but usually you prefer single target heals on your melee carry. Otherwise, your mages have much better use of that than just heals.
Very true.
And for outside of battle healing, that's what all the potions are for.
Very true. Also, Katana. And it rolled up, too. Katana being one of the other best weapons that has a high crit. However, it is only equipable by a promoted thief to a ninja. Here we have the Wiz Hag and RC Hag. Normally in the original game, it is actually unrunnable. That's because the game has an A-side and a B-side to a lot of encounters, and it happens to be the B-side to the Pirates fight, which is normally not unrunnable. Fun fact, it took them a long time to be able to finally decouple those to make that fight runnable. For whatever enemy slot rolled there. And here
Anyway, place your bets on how many racks Kraken will take.
Because apparently the Fiend of Water is susceptible to turning to stone.
With 2 bracks and the Bane Sword, that shouldn't take too long. Yep.
Got it in 1.
I always love it when that happens.
I think we all do. It's like having a... It's like feeding the cake to Lich on that one. Because Lich being able to fall into a deep ravine. Surprise, surprise. Some of the fiends do have weaknesses to spells you would think that they would normally not be. For example, Fiend of Earth falling into a chasm. The Water Fiend being susceptible to the ability to be turned to stone. And the chest that spell is currently going towards is what community lovingly calls TFC.
Specifically the one in that crescent moon shaped room.
Yes. It is the one chest in the game after the opening area that does require the actual mystic key. That took me a minute to think. So, what's your current shard count, if I may ask?
I haven't really kept track of it. And TFC delivered.
Yes, it did. With another ribbon.
In the vanilla game, it's 20 gold, for the record.
Wow, I did not know
Which
that.
will never stop being funny.
Worst check in the game having barely any items. Makes sense.
My favorite of those is that one chest in Ice Cave behind the mage tile, which is probably one of the nastiest encounters in the whole game. It contains cloth armor.
The devs really did like to troll players.
That he did.
I mean, this was their last game that they really could try to do, so why not? And here we are at the mermaids. Ooh, Aegis Shield, though
I don't know if it's better than Silver plus 6. Yeah, it's rolled down, so it's not.
do you already have the distances it would give? So walk us through your thought process as to where you might go from here.
Well, from here, the next dungeon I could fully clear is Earth Cave, which is not quite as chest dense as some other areas, but it might have to do. I really don't need that flame sword. Also, shoutouts to Aslodo.
Also
The
shout
boss
out,
has been carbonated.
also shout outs to the NPC guillotine, because people did not want to have to wait around for NPCs to move out of the way.
Those bats in Earth Cave.
Well, I remember when they moved that to create the belfry, just throwing them all in a single room. That's empty tournaments for that one, because it affected basically a lot of people to the point of that. While you're walking out, do you want to pass it over to our nice host to see if they have anything?
All right, what I do have is some. What I do have is some great information. We are $145.13 Canadian away from the SM64 race incentive, but more importantly, we are $272.40 Canadian away from our $1,000 target. So if you can get those donations in, that would be amazing.
I believe DJ has said if the marathon reaches it, they will reveal what the randomization method for Speedromizer 6 is going to be.
That's right. And might I say, the people working behind the curtain are very excited for that announcement. Oh, and also I should also say that we have a couple of polls going on, and it looks like the Ocarina of Time file name, Shaq, is leading the charge with $152.94. And the Ice Trap amount is set to Mayhem with $25 leading the charge. If you'd like to change those outcomes, go ahead and donate and make sure to put it towards a poll. Or an incentive, sorry.
Also, shoutouts to Out of Bounds Bat, the bat that appears out of bounds in the waterfall every now and then.
Only one shard. It's not worth keeping, I think. For the trek out, since I lack the warp and exit spells.
True.
Also, one thing I'm going to do before I branch out to the Earth Cave is drop back an area, get some spells for my newly promoted characters. I'm especially excited for White Magic level 1 having Fade, which also I forgot to leave a slot open for the Red Mage, so I guess I'm not getting that on him.
I will remind you, Life 2 was available at level 2, so you might be able to grab that for your knight.
And Invis 2 just in case. I doubt it will be relevant on the night, but you never know.
Hey now, even with the defense sword, and if you find it the white shirt which gives free casts of Invis 2, it's sometimes worth just tossing it out if you really need the quick evasion backing.
Also, I just remembered about the shop item being in Elfland, so I'm also getting that. And while I'm on the inner sea locations, I might go take a look at what's behind all those locked doors.
True. I will remind you that you do have the TNT as a possible option, so if you are going to go there, you do have the extra items from Dwarf Cave.
Of course, level 4 is too high for the Knight's to learn Lamp, which is a shame since that's the one character you really want to have that spell.
True. Very true.
And I just said I was gonna check the locked chest, so it would be better if I actually did it.
Hey, we all forget some of those things. At least you didn't get, deep into Earth or something like that and have that, oh yeah, I meant to check those.
Trust me, I've forgotten to check Mavid's side after beating Kraken too many times. It would be a bit shameful if I didn't know how many other people are also doing it.
Trust me, a lot of people have forgotten over the years. Oh, note, if the trap tile shuffle it was on, the chests that are at Northwest Castle are pretty quick to check, and some people do actually to quickly grind when they need it. Also, say hi to the Hooray Dwarf, one of the only NPCs that is immune to the NPC guillotine. Also, Vorpal.
It didn't roll very high, but it might be viable against Chaos.
I mean, highest crit in the game.
Actually, what were those?
Also, is this your first trip into Dwarf Cave?
I think I did fade it back in the early game, so I will grab the two chests at the entrance.
Hooray Dwarf.
Hurry Dwarf.
Hey!
A new exciting flavor of
Yes. With them... Opal Cheerio. Opal Cheerio, basically, because this is the Opal bracelet, but yet the sprite looking like a Cheerio. Ooh.
And now I'm finally going over to Earth Cave, like I said. But first, I'm getting all these good spells that were in level 5 that I couldn't afford at the time. I did have a nuke on the Black Mage, but I absolutely want Temper on both mages.
Yep. Temper being...
It went from being completely non-functional in vanilla due to a bug, to arguably being the single best spell in the game, in my opinion.
Very true. as Temper is the spell that boosts attack. So will you be checking the one earth chest that is hidden in the very far back on the next floor?
I still don't have my loot, so skipping chest is still not an option.
True, true.
Who knows if the loot keeps being out of reach, I might even have to do the emergency play of checking all deals.
And Marsh too. I think that's also available.
It is, but going to all this in this flag set is so undignified.
Very true. I mean, the seed did give you access to the world pretty quickly. Which sometimes
Also,
can be a...
shoutouts to George. George is the single reason I always play with fun enemy names turned on.
As I said, there's a lot of fun flag sets that the community has. Doesn't affect the randomizer in and of itself, but it's always just fun to see what the community has. Fun enemy names, sprite changes, modern battlefield where it makes the battle formation look closer to what it does in Final Fantasy II and Onward. And again, if you want to check out the randomizer yourself, FF1R, Final Fantasy Random... is it FF4 or FF1R?
FFrando.com.
Or as I like to say, if you can't, or just try Google. One of the reasons why NPC Guillotine exists is because of the bats.
Trust me, you do not want to see a bat in the hallway before vampire. What armor does mine have? Opal Plus 4, I don't need the dragon armor.
As normally that would be the best armor in the game, but you rolled up with the Opal armor, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Those weapons... weapon blessings showing just like how much you can get extra with extra evasion and extra armor for that one. You can turn some gear that you would normally think is useless to great, and some gear that you think is great into not so good.
I've once made the mistake of trying to use a katana -3. Never again.
I've seen it work, but it was on, you know, flag sets where you had very little in the way of stuff.
Also, very exciting chest spotted.
Massa!
Yes. But in this flag set, it's guarded by Womack, a good old friend.
Ah. Say hi to the giant mech, all.
Or the robot chicken, as many people like to call it.
Ouch. Being on that one, buffing up defense. You'll see Fel powering up that knight, basically making it able to avoid everything on that one.
So I'm treating Womack like if it's an endgame boss, because really, for all intents and purposes, you can think of it as Chaos with the half HP.
I mean, it was the secret enemy in Vanilla as the rarest enemy to get, only available on what the community likes to dub the Bridge of Destiny, or the small bridge on the way to Tiamat in the Floating Fortress. Although it's looking like it's a little beefy today, as far as defense goes. Well, at least we know, I believe that's one nuclear out of the pool, and I think I saw nuke earlier as well.
Not nuke, but a swirl.
But taken down. See just how much EXP that Warmech can give.
So now this knight is pretty much set for the rest of the game in terms of experience. But now we find ourselves in what's called man mode. Wait, I do have a knife to run the knight.
I was just about to remind you.
So never mind, we are not in man mode.
Yes. That being a reference to only one character and just having to go it solo. However, I will note that you may think that is a disadvantage, whereas it's not as much of a problem when you can actually either hit hard or avoid everything.
And it gives some pretty sizable advantages in its own way, like not having to split experience, making grinds that much faster. And the reduced menu time can also help.
Very true.
There are some people who like to run solo thief on every flag set. It's maybe not a good idea all the time, but it's surprisingly viable, unlike in Vanilla where it's a 20-hour run.
I believe there is a famous story from the first year, and I believe it was Will Bloodworth, notably during the very first tournament, after the first tournament with the challenge seed. 4 party members of one type, in this case the very first one was all 4 thieves, with 500, I believe, it was like 500% stats, decided to do a solo thief.
Anyway, wouldn't it be funny if the Earth Cave had a proper boss like all the other elemental dungeons? Just an idea.
True, which is normally jokingly referred to as the speed bump, because of how easily it goes down.
So now, did leave a couple chests in some places, like for example the locked chests in the Temple of Fiends. And there was also Out of Marsh Cave to go through.
Ordeals.
I'm hoping to find the cube, which will grant me access to the Sky Palace, where Tiamat is.
Yep. Also, don't forget Ordeals, even though I know you don't want to go there. Now, I will note that although Fel has not really had a chance to show some of it, the game, and at least in this one, has something known as open progression, where there have been a few small map edits, like deleting a mountain that blocks paths from Corneria to the Dwarf Cave, so you do not need the ship, and from 1 to 2 other things, like allowing you to be able to go from Volcano to Ice Cave. There's a few other things on that one, depending on Northern Docks, Dock at Bahamut. These are some options on that one, although it sometimes varies as to whether or not some are on. But usually, open progression is on, and that's just to make it a bit more convenient so people do not have to loop around to get the ship just to check the 2 chests in Dwarf Cave early, or have to go all the way around to be able to get to Ice Cave if you are checking Volcano, or vice versa. Blackshirt being the Black Maid's exclusive, Black Wizard exclusive gear, which also casts one of the level 2 elemental spells.
And it's just a good piece of armor on top of that.
Yes, it is. It also...
And there's not quite the loot.
Lyre being one of the fun music names for the one of the other, what the community likes to call fun percent flags, is to rename the loot into different instruments. This time being a lyre, another stringed instrument if I recall.
Indeed. It's a sort of harp, I believe.
Yes, I believe so. Still having to check chests though because of needing more shards. There are also some chests that you'll see fell skipping. This is because they are considered what is known as linked, meaning the contents are basically contained in 2 different chests, so picking one of them means the other one will not have anything there.
Think of it as a chest that is in multiple locations and that you only have to open once.
So shard.
At this rate, I might actually not need the cube.
Let's see, I think you're getting close to the bottom row. That one.
I have so many bad experiences with wolves.
I think we all have. And anybody that's played vanilla knows how annoying those wizards can be. Sorry, did I just have all that muted? So you're going to run out the extra shard or 2 here, or doing the reset so you don't have to?
I noticed that if I do find the cube, then I will not need to open any more chests if that will be enough to with the 4 shards from Carrie, not from Carrie, from Tiamat. So I will work out with that shard.
Okay.
Though I really wish any of the teleport magic did land early enough to be used.
Very true. With those levels, you should be able to survive a decent dive into Topher, also known as the Temple of Fiends Revisited, or Chaos Shrine in the future versions of the game.
The Knight is a good enough level, and with the Level 2, that's really the only one that matters that much.
Very true.
I do remember I forgot to check Titan's Tunnel. Now if I remember where it is.
Remember, the pressing, I believe it's select in B, the old thing to bring up the map still works. Even made it so that way it appears immediately instead of having to slowly crawl.
So now I'm just down to needing 3 more shards. And at this rate, the only dungeons that are left to check are the first couple floors of Mirage Tower and Temple of 4 Deers. And I'm choosing the former, because it's just that much easier to access from the airship. And I'm also taking a detour to the couple towns nearby for the patch quest turn-ins.
Yep.
There's Warp.
Wow. Well, it should have at least 1 or 2 charges of it.
Probably don't need anything from here, so I'm doing good on Rock 10.
Also note that the developers have created a bit of a shortcut to get to the turn-in location for the ferry. Ooh, Roostic.
It's a bit redundant with Defense Sword, but that means I can get the ninja to be a pretty good dodge tank while the fighter does the damage in the last couple fights.
Very true. Randomizer do having a lot of options where you can turn on, for example, the Felissan hospitality, which normally Lefane, being the town of the elves, the old elves on that one, normally wouldn't have it. Even turn on a superstore, which turns, I believe, the final 2 magic shops in the game into
It'll be
having...
the X-Cal. It's the X-Cal.
Nice. Giving all ooh, and an X-Cal +5 too. You want to explain just like how much of a difference between the X-Cal and the Massa is for this, with the X-Cal rolling maximum plus?
I do not know the weapon stat off the top of my head, but I believe that an X-Cal +5 is about on par with the Massa on most stats. I don't know the exact details.
Ooh, chicken and bacon wings. The community's nickname for the Tyro and God, I forget the other name for it.
Wyvern.
Wyvern. Trying to find a hero.
There's nothing in the first encounter on either of these quadrants. That's unfortunate. Well, I say nothing, but I specifically mean one of the 2 best encounters, which are the T-Rex and the sandworms, aka sandwiches.
Maybe loves its puns, and so with Warp, I'm guessing you're checking the 2nd floor, then probably dipping to ordeals if you don't find them, charge-wise?
Well, unfortunately, I do not have a level 7 charge to cast Warp.
Ah. So, thought process-wise, I'm guessing. What have you thought of the seed so far?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Sure thing. I was just asking, considering everything that you've had to check, what are your thoughts on the seed so far?
Well, I'm always a bit annoyed by warpless seeds like that, but aside from that, it has been surprisingly gentle with spells on the enemies. Like, nothing like the damage poison and the fire 3 specters I had on my Wombat Seed this morning. Also, what's that? 2 shots right now? It is.
He also had a gold bracelet at the top.
Yep.
Gold bracelet being one of the best accessories. In fact, sometimes it can even roll higher than the opal.
And with that, we have all the shards we need. So this is a shard hunt. I do not need to kill all the fiends. I can just head straight to the Temple of Fiends and dive into the final dungeon.
I will note one of the nice options with the community that they do have is an option to turn on a exit from the final dungeon so you can leave. It normally is not available. Looks like we won't be seeing the randomized pillar maze today. While you're flying back to Temple of Fiends, I was gonna say, you want to ask our host if they have any things that they would like to say?
Of course.
All right. What I can say is we are looking for our first donation of the day. And if you would like to donate, do exclamation point donates to get the link. This year, we are raising money for QMUNITY, a charity based out of British Columbia, the Great White North. And that is what I have right now. But Felissan, as the runner, how do you feel this run is going?
I do not have a timer in front of my eyes, unlike usual, so I can't really say how I'm doing pace-wise. I'd say the writing was probably not on point from my end.
Okay,
And,
okay.
Heading in around an hour and 12.
Ah,
Okay, so
okay.
this is a bit on the slower end. I'm taking one fight. These give a lot of experience. And the mages and ninja might appreciate it.
Yes. Tasty yum yum EXP.
I'm not wasting some nuke charges on them, since those are almost always saved for the bosses. Speed and power, as they like to say in the community.
And so we're... She is on her way to the earth floor right now. Each of the floors... Each of the next 4 floors has a refight of each of the fiends. Hoping for a speed bump lich tonight? Or today? Well, I've gotta ask, with all the fun flags on, do you have the actual speed bump flag for lich on?
It's part of fun enemy names.
Ah. As lich being a little bit of a joke in the community here and there, this does include the second fight as well.
Indeed, the second fights are just minor buffs from the first one, the stat-wise, with most of the difference coming from the much stronger spell list they have available. And in particular, they do not gain any additional resistances. So we might see Lich dying to a quake.
Or
We did not. It's always funny when it happens.
feeding lich the cake. And I do love the funny sprites option, because I believe I've seen one of them actually turn lich into a speed bump. Not just the name. Fel is onto the second floor, which is the refight with Carrie.
I will not cast Nuke with Red Mage, since he kind of lacks the charges, and I really want to save some tempers for the last couple fights. So instead I end going with a cheeky Quadex cast to see if, well, I didn't need that. It's not often that I went round carry with just physical attacks and a nuke.
Rolled low, I'm guessing, with the stats for it.
Yes, and the Excal is just that good of a weapon.
I mean, rolling +5.
And now the one everyone is scared of. That's Fire Abysso.
Yes, let's see how many hits Kraken will deal today. Although being able to go first and get up and invis will help. 404, stop. With those ribbons, definitely helps with preventing that one.
Okay, he's definitely in Quadex range now.
Yep. Quadex lands and Power Word kill on carry. Sorry, not carry. Ugh, Kraken. At the tier 2 fight, I'll be quiet and won't give the play-by-play so you can concentrate.
Right. I really don't have a lot of stuff to do with the Black Mage. I want to save that nuke cast, so... that tempo cast. Let's throw some tempo on the final boss, where every turn can matter. I might have been able to go for a Quadex there. Well, it's still a fairly easy fight when you have access to the Excal.
I believe you got almost all the good endgame weapons. Not all of them.
I do in fact have one of each legendary sword.
And healing up. Fun fact, on the Tiamat floor in Vanilla is where the Masamune is. Just before the boss, so I guess the game really wanted to make sure you could fight, it could kill Chaos, as that weapon, even though it's a sword, can be equipped by any class.
So now we're coming up on Kraken, where I do the same kind of setup I did back on the Warmech fight earlier.
Buff to Oblivion, and then swing.
Precisely.
In Vanilla, Chaos has 2000 HP, give or take on that one. As with a Black Belt, you can actually one-shot them. And time will be on the word terminated. The word terminated appear on Chaos.
So now with 2 stacks of Ruse and 2 stacks of Invis, the Knight is unhittable by any attack that doesn't just roll 1 in 3 into 56. So that gives me some time to just get some casts of the Power Glove.
The Saber is very useful.
Now I'll do a test swing to see how well I'm buffed. I will get a couple more Saber casts before I go for the kill.
At this point, it's not a formality, but there is a very likely good chance that you will survive. It's looking like Chaos does not have Cure 4. Or if it does, it is deep into the spell list. Very spell happy today.
And thankfully not super happy with some nukes in there.
Very true. As the Fiend revisits and 1,000 plus damage. Basically, all the Fiends and the all the refights for the Fiends and Chaos and Warmech share the same spell pool, which is separate from the original pool, or at least some of the flag sets. And I'm sorry.
At least I'm buffed, and I have 8 spellcasts until it cycles back around to Cure 4.
Yep. As Chaos decides to start swinging. Oh, damage poison. Four hits for over 700 and change damage. Fire 2. We're not in hold A and pray mode. And terminated. GG's fell.
Okay, that was... I did play it a bit safe at some points, especially with much longer Agama grind than I probably needed at the time. But I'm pretty happy with just getting a smooth run like that on a marathon.
Final time, 1:22:37. Shoutouts again to Speedromizer for accepting FF1R.
Yes, and lots of thanks to the FFR community for having an excellent new player training program that is the reason I got to this level in just 3 months. And of course to the community.
Would you recommend people to check out the randomizer?
I mean, of course I do. And as always, the way to get to it is just to join the Discord, maybe ask for advice if you have trouble with your first couple seats. It's a very welcoming community.
I'd ask, is it possible to get a link to the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Discord in chat? If not, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
So, with that, I don't think I have anything further to say.
Give me a minute and I'll drop a link to the Discord for those interested. Discord.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure running this game. And, Go ahead.
Yeah, you saw.
Okay. Yes, so, just, wait, am I on?
Yeah.
Go on, just go on.
Okay. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure running this game, and, what run is coming up afterwards?
Yes. So the next run, there is a little bit of a change. We're just getting that set up. I'll announce it real soon. But thank you so much for the run, Mage. How did Felissan do?
I'd say she did an amazing job. This flag set is, I don't want to say not hard, but it's not easy as well. It's a very fun flag set. And did you have fun, Fel?
I did. Though I will say that there are a lot of people in the community that were looking forward to never having to run this flag set again after Winter Tournament. I guess it's mostly from having had to deal with it a lot more than I did.
It was a fun flag set during the winter tournament. And honestly, I'm glad you had fun. Glad you enjoyed the Randomizer, and I guess I'm glad to all the viewers that enjoyed it as well.
Yes, what I can say is that I incredibly enjoyed it. Being a Final Fantasy fan, this was awesome to see, especially someone who is relatively new to the speedrunning community in Final Fantasy Randomizer. Thank you so much to both of you for this fantastic run. And boy, do we got some upcoming greatness for you. We're going to have a run of Yoda Stories, Green Lightsaber Presents, and of course, Earthbound is coming up after that. But we are just setting up the next run, so we will be right back.